My biggest fear would be when the first comes and I don't get the rent.
I found that my tenant had dumped concrete down my toilet.
Can you believe Fair Housing fined me $5,000 for that?
How do you onboard your tenants? What do you do?
I don't even know if I do it right.
If you're a landlord, don't just rent, rent perfect. The Rent Perfect podcast with property expert and private investigator, David Pickron.
Well, here we are again, another episode of the Rent Perfect podcast. I've got Scott Aubrey, Vice President, with us today. Scott, how are you?
It's Friday, man. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Friday. That's fantastic. Hey, you know, I got to tell you, over this last little bit, I almost kind of feel like a whiner a little bit. And I just don't like to be the victim or the whiner, but I'm looking at more regulations. And every time I read about what cities are doing, it just blows me away, the thinking and how they're coming up with these decisions. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about regulations, what it's going to do, and we're actually going to give you the key to fighting it all. Okay?
I love that, yes.
But before we get into that, let's challenge everybody right now to hit the subscribe button, because we're coming out with things that are going to help you on a week-to-week basis. So I know you're subscribed. I get the ding every time we upload something. So subscribe today and and join us in this journey that is a crazy journey that, used to not be this crazy, Scott. We used to just kind of not have this much to talk about. But the content out there to talk about is unbelievable.
It's overwhelming sometimes.
I mean, we could do 2 podcasts a day on topics of the information that's coming in. We have to selectively pick, which ones we want to do. I mean, if we talk about one specific city, then we kind of alienate everybody else that isn't in. For example, St. Paul last month told everybody what their criteria was going to be. And if we do a podcast just only on St. Paul, then everybody else is going, yeah, but my area doesn't do that. So we're going to pick and choose and give some examples today of some regulations. But there is one key to beating it.
Yes.
There is one key to beating it. So let me ask you before we get going. What do you look for in a business partner? What makes someone the right person for you?
Okay. I mean, there are the given things. Honest. They have integrity. They show up to work every day. There's someone that I feel like I can trust. There's someone that benefits me and that adds to the totality of our team. But number one for me, really, and especially right now, I mean, we are in hiring mode in different companies, and is work ethic.
Okay.
How hard are you going to work for yourself and for me and for us together, right? I'm looking for someone who doesn't just say, well, what are you going to do for me, David, business partner. I'm looking for someone who says, what can I do for you and what can I do for us collectively to make this a great partnership?
Okay. So partnership is not just one way, it's both ways.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one-way partnerships are short-lived.
They're short-lived. And so that's why a lot of times you hear in podcasts or a lot of stuff we do, or we're on Zooms with different organizations around the country, we always talking about think of your tenants as a business partner. You're working with them. They're not working for you or against you, but with you to really accomplish a goal of keeping a nice roof over someone's head and also keeping the mortgage paid. So partner is a great word, right? And I will tell you right now, here is the secret we're going to discuss today. The way you beat regulation is you have the right partner, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So the people who are listening to this podcast now that weren't hurt by the eviction moratorium more than likely had the right partner, right? And the people who are like, I don't want to be a landlord anymore. Why do I have to pay this guy's rent for him for so long? Probably had the wrong business partner.
Yeah, and we know of people who are now selling all of their rentals because they're just like kind of washing their hands and saying, I'm done. This has been too much, and I've gotten taken advantage of or kicked around too much during this last year and a half, and I'm done.
And I got an email 2-3 weeks ago from a client of ours that said, Dave, you've helped me for years. Your system has helped me. I really, really appreciate it. But unfortunately, I have to cancel my account because I decided to sell all my rentals. This game was getting too hard for me.
And that's a sad thing.
That's tough to take.
Yeah.
right? That's tough to take, that it finally beat somebody to say, you know what, I'm out. So how do you stay in?
Yeah.
You find the right business partner.
Yeah.
Now, the government doesn't want you to have the tools to use to find that responsibility, to find that work ethic you're talking about. They want to take away tools, so we're just blindly making deals with people.
Yeah. They're trying to decide who your tenant's going to be.
Yeah.
That's really the reality.
Because they want everybody to have a roof over their head, and so do I. But to live in my place, right, it's a competitive market out there. And I want the best for my place. And so, Chicago last week, and this is more than Chicago. It's happening all over the country. So we got to really know about this. They now are coming out and saying you cannot use eviction records against people from 2020, and Chicago went all the way out to 2022. I mean, 2020.
So you've been moving a year and a half from
a year and
now.
a half forward. They're requiring their courts to seal their eviction records. Okay, and then there's a penalty if we report eviction records as rent perfect. And they've done this all the way from the national level, trying to get it through. They haven't quite got it through on the national level, but a lot of these little city councils, counties, states are now trying to seal these court records so we can't find them. Now, I want to just clear something up. When I say the right business partner, the wrong business partner, I'm not talking about a good person or a bad. Everybody's a good person here, right? I'm just talking about somebody who I feel I can work with as a partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not talking about good people, bad people. People have criminal records or bad people. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about partners. Because if you had the right partner during this eviction moratorium and they lost their job, which a lot of them did, that were in the restaurant business and retail, they went and with that work ethic, they went and said, okay, wait a minute, I'm either going to get another job, or I'm going to go get unemployment, or I'm going to go to my church, my family, but I'm going to get my landlord his or her rent.
Right. They figured it out, and they honored their obligations, and that's the partner I'm looking for.
And that's what I'm looking for,
right,
that
exactly.
responsibility.
That's the guy. Yep.
Not the one who sat there and folded and said, hey, I'm getting screwed. You guys owe me. What are you going to give me? That's not the right business partner for me, right? And so I want everybody to have a roof over their head. I mean, I don't like that us landlords are kind of, under attack right now because there's an affordability problem in housing. We didn't cause that.
Yeah,
I
that's
wish
a market-driven thing.
In fact, as an investor, I wish these prices weren't going up so high so quickly so I could buy some more assets. Right. I mean, I'm getting taken out of the investment game just based on prices.
Just based on it,
right?
the price jumps.
So for those areas of the country, I have a really good idea for you, a tip for you to continue to find that work ethic or that good business partner that you're looking for, even when you can't access court eviction records. What do you do now?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them to see the copy of their last 12 months of their bank statements.
Right, exactly. So what we've been teaching here is, okay, if we can't get to the court records, if we can't see that they didn't pay, then let's go get records to prove that they did pay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And in most of these laws yet, because they will change once they figure out what landlords are doing, what we need to do is we need to make sure we're looking at least 12 bank statements or canceled checks where they prove they paid the rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so the onus is on them.
Right. And in our day, I mean, people might scream, "Well, that sounds hard." Right? This isn't the 1980s where I had to go to my bank and have them go to the copy machine and copy off the.
Right.
I mean, it's on your phone, it's on your device, it's on your laptop. You log into your banking, you print out the thing, you share it with your potential landlord.
And you circle your rent.
Yeah.
And you circle it paid where it came out of your bank
Black
statement.
out what you don't want me to see, but circle, hey, I did pay I am responsible. I'm your partner that you're looking for.
And while you show me when you paid your rent, also show me your income. Show me money coming into the bank and show me how much you got paid for the last 12 months. That solves a lot for me right now. And if you're not willing to work hard and do that for me and you're wanting to complain that it's too hard, then you maybe not be my right business partner that has that work ethic
Yeah.
that I'm looking
Well,
for.
and I think, David, that if you and I looked and said, okay, as landlords, are we I mean, we understand what's happened in the last year and a half. We're not completely dense, right? We understand. We look at those things and go, okay, look, I see that you didn't make a payment last April and May, but from June to today, you're 100%. You've got great income coming in. I think that we would be going, we understand the situation, and we understand that you've maybe got knocked down a little bit, but you picked yourself back up, and you might be my right partner.
I think you make a great point there. It doesn't have to be 12 months of perfect,
yeah.
Payments. This has been a tough year, but it at least opens up the dialogue to say, okay, show me how hard you worked and that you made your landlord whole. If you're going to have a 6-month, 8-month hole in there where you blew your landlord off, then the next epidemic that comes around, you're probably blowing me off too, and I'm not prepared for that. Hey, we did a podcast a few podcasts ago about a code word. We talked about, when we use Zillow and we get all these people that write back or email back and say, hey, I want to view your property. We thought, how can we kind of pre-screen through that? And so we talked about a code word. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that episode because it shows you how you can pre-screen these tenants. But wouldn't a great code word be on your Zillow ad? I will not respond or show you the property unless you let me know that you'll have to supply 12 months worth of bank statements in order to apply for this rental. I mean, wouldn't that be a great code word to say?
It's a great code word.
People that say, hey, that's too hard, you're asking too great. Great. Just move along.
Yeah. Go to the next guy. I'm good.
And the next, communication I get online that says, I understand that this rental, is available and when you have to show 12 months worth of bank statements, I'm willing to do that. That's probably someone who's going to break them out and be happy to show you he made his rent payments. And then you don't have to worry about that eviction. In the last 12 months, maybe they had eviction 2 years ago, maybe, and maybe, but they're saying that most of these laws is from 2020 to 2022. So if we can get those bank statements at least from the beginning of 2020, then we can let our eviction checks grab all the evictions out of 2019, 2018,
all the priors,
and go back that far. So I love it. I love being in this business, and the hard part of this business is dealing with people. That's just the truth. The hard part is dealing with people. But when you have the right people, the legislature and the city councils, they can put all the regulation they want. If I have the right people, I'm going to beat it.
Yep. Yeah, we will survive.
We will survive.
Yeah.
But with the wrong people, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. And that's what we want to avoid. Yeah. So find the right people. The right people will beat this regulation every time. We appreciate you joining us today. And until next time, continue to rent perfect.